Hey, welcome back to Brickwall Pictures. Today we are doing a Sylvester Stallone tier list, and I have brought in that fat samurai guy himself. I brought in the big guns here, the Sylvester Stallone expert, to help me out with this tier list.
not even, but I am a fan.
There's definitely a whole bunch on this tier list that I have not seen, so I'm counting on you to have seen them. And if there's any that neither of us have seen, we're just going to kick its ass.
All right, we'll just skip it.
And if you're not subscribed already to that Fat Samurai Guy's YouTube channel, check the description, find a link to his channel, go subscribe because you won't want to miss what he's putting out.
Ooh, we got a lot. Holy crap.
Yeah, we got a lot. We had 35 for Arnie. It looks like we have 52 movies here this day.
All right.
We're going to get started with one that we talked about briefly on our Arnold Schwarzenegger tier list. And that video is already out if you've seen this one. So go check out our Arnold Schwarzenegger tier list.
Do it. Arnold kind of stole that movie for me. So for a Stallone movie, still great. It's still good. Let's put it C.
The Grudge match, which is one that I avoided. I actively avoided this one because honestly, for one reason, because of, I'm going to blow up the poster here real quick. Because this is one of the worst posters I have ever seen. Look how fucking airbrushed they are. These are two wrinkly old men photoshopped onto the bodies of much, much younger men. Look how smooth and blown out their arms are.
I don't think I've ever seen that poster. I didn't do a trailer reaction. I should have did a trailer reaction video, but when I saw the trailer when the movie came out, my mind exploded. I was like, this is a joke, right? Like I felt like this was a fake Saturday Night Live trailer.
I thought the same thing.
Yeah. Like Bizarro World. De Niro's great in it. Stallone is Stallone. De Niro's really the star because his character is actually funny. But it's a Bizarro World, what the fuck movie? It's so weird. It's so weird, but it's entertaining. It's not great, but for the dumpster juice, like my buddy Eric, the Asian movie enthusiast, says, when he calls shit movies dumpster juice, it's not dumpster juice. It's watchable. Yeah, it's more De Niro's movie, really. So go ahead and put in D tier.
It seems like a premise that like if they had made it like 20 years earlier, you know, when they were both in their prime, you'd have Rocky versus Raging Bull, you know. It seems like such a big, but just at this stage in their career, it's just kind of sad, you know.
I know.
We have another one I have not seen. You know, these are in a randomized order, as you can probably tell. This is another one I hadn't seen, and one I hadn't even heard of. It's called Backtrace.
Have not seen Backtrace.
All right, we'll kick that one's ass out of here. Okay, next up is Bullet. It's Bullet to the Head, right?
Yes, Bullet to the Head.
Okay, so when I first heard about this, when I remember the first trailer coming out, and I thought it was supposed to be a remake of that old John Woo movie, Bullet in the Head,
right?
And they just made it, you know, kind of changed the grammar a little bit. But I think it's unrelated. This is one that
it's unrelated.
I think I've seen this movie.
Yeah,
but I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
Again, in my opinion, this is a very underrated sly flick, man.
Like, is there a fight in it where they fight with like axes?
Yeah.
Okay, I have seen it then.
Him versus Jason Momoa, son.
Yeah, okay, I have seen this one then. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, for straight, gritty, violent, you know, Stallone kicking ass and taking names type of movie, Bullet to the Head, it's actually entertaining. I would say between B and C, but I don't know where to put it.
Okay, from how little I remember it, knowing that I've definitely seen, I would probably lean a little lower because I just remember it being very generic. I can't remember anything other than that axe.
It's nothing new, but it's entertaining.
Yeah. Okay. Next up is Stop or My Mom Will Shoot, which has a horrible reputation, and I've always avoided it. But I do know one little factoid about it that some people probably know, some people might not. It's written by the guy who wrote like the de facto book on screenwriting. There's one of the books, you know. So one of the main screenwriting books is Save the Cat, and recently there's been kind of like a backlash against the book, saying, you know, don't listen to that book. It's actually even bad advice or whatever. Right? But for a long time, and even still, there's plenty of people who do abide by it. It's like the de facto how to write a script in terms of like structure and pitching and whatnot. A book called Save the Cat. The guy who wrote Save the Cat, the book, he wrote. I think he might have only had 2 movies produced. One of them is that kid's movie Blank Check, which also has terrible reviews. And the other one is this, Stop or My Mom Will Shoot. So the guy who gave screenwriting advice to a whole generation of screenwriters pretty much just wrote terrible movies, which is kind of odd. But I guess, you know, they do say those who can't do teach.
Well, guess what I've heard? Now, I don't know if this is double confirmed or not, but I heard that as a joke, Stallone got bamboozled into taking this role because Arnold Schwarzenegger, it was a rub.
I forgot what it was called.
Stop or my mother will shoot.
My mom will shoot, exactly.
Yes.
That's right. And so I read the script and it was a piece of I mean, let's be honest. And so I said to myself, I'm not gonna do this movie. So then they went to Sly, and then Sly called me and he says, hey, have they ever talked to you about this movie? And I said, yeah. I said, I was thinking about doing it. I said, this is a really brilliant idea, this movie. And so when he heard that, because he was in competition, he immediately called him and says, look, whatever it takes, I do the movie. So he did the movie.
Wow.
And of course, the movie went major into the toilet.
There was a few moments I chuckled, but it's dumpster juice. Go ahead and put it down in F.
Rocky 3.
Oh.
And this randomized order is not bean kind to me because this is one, again, I have not seen. And I have a huge confession to make here as a cinephile.
Oh, you're killing me.
I have not seen.
You haven't seen Rocky 3?
I haven't seen Rocky 3. I haven't seen Rocky 2. I haven't seen Rocky.
You haven't seen Rocky?
I know. It's ridiculous. I know. It's like sacrilegious. I've never seen it.
I'm here to help you out.
I've seen the scenes, I've seen parts of it. I've just never.
I'm here to help you out. Believe
I'm
it or
just
not,
that interested in boxing, So
yeah, no. I'll help. That's why you got me here.
I'll watch it eventually. Yes.
Rocky 3 is my personal favorite out of them, but I'm taking my bias aside. I'm putting it an A.
Okay.
Rocky 3 is an A, man. Hulk Hogan, his Thunder Lips, it's hilarious. But it's like it's one of those movies where shit got real in Rocky 3. I got the Mohawk here representing Mr. T calling out Adrian. He's like, hey woman, why don't you bring your pretty little self to my apartment tonight and I'll show you a real man. I mean, like all kinds of shit. Like Stallone he didn't have to go through any of this. Rocky Balboa's character. He didn't have to go through any of this calling out. And I really like Rocky 3 because the character up to this point is like kind of like boxing in real life is like, well, when the champion keeps winning, does he kind of get civilized over time and he loses his killer instinct? And it's just a great movie, especially when Apollo Creed's character comes back. But I don't want to ruin it since you ain't seen it, my friend.
Yeah. Next up, we have one that we talked about at length on our Schwarzenegger tier list. So I will say, go watch that video if you haven't seen it already to hear our thoughts on the Expendables. I think we ranked it. We ranked the first one lower because Arnie was just a cameo in it, so we might want to bump it up. And then we put it in D on our Arnie tier list. I know you like this one more than I do.
Right, it's a C. It deserves to be there.
Okay, so
it's entertaining enough.
Now we have the first one that I genuinely love, First Blood.
Man. Timeless story, man.
Yeah, it's great.
Like this story,
based on a novel, great story.
It never gets old. It never gets old, no matter what generation you show this movie to. And it's amazing because a lot of people forget that Stallone only killed one person.
Oh, yeah.
Rambo has only one body count.
It's so different from the Rambo sequels.
Right.
It's like like they're not even.
It's
weird.
It's
like
it's in a different universe almost.
Yeah,
it's
like,
a multiverse.
Right. This one feels very real world, realistic, and it's like a sad story. It's like a sad, emotional story more than it is an action film. There's some action in it, but like it's really not an action.
You know what I heard?
movie.
I heard that this movie is kind of similar to Bloodsport, where the original cut was trash. And they were like, oh my God, we have a bomb on our hands. I guess the original longer version of First Blood was terrible. And they were like, oh God, we made a bomb. And then they had to go back in and re-edit everything. And I don't know if Stallone did it, like Van Damme kind of helped edit Bloodsport, but Stallone may have had a hand in going in and trying to chopping things out and make it more exciting. And then the final cut, which we love, is what we've seen. But yeah, I heard the original cut was like, oh no, we got a bomb. So that's very interesting. It's S tier, man.
Yeah, I agree. I would totally put it in S tier. I think it's a total classic.
Yeah.
Also, it's one of I believe the history of it is that it's like one of the first films to be like critical of the Vietnam War, like take a different kind of stance on it.
Oh, all right.
It wasn't the first. I've seen some people call it the first, but like you have Rolling Thunder came up before this, I think, and that had a similar kind of stance. Even though it's a little less prominent in that movie, it's still very integral to the character. Let's go vertically down here since we have a little overflow. Next up, we got Lockup, which again, I haven't seen this one.
Lockup is actually, it's funny because we did have a versus episode. We had Lockup versus Van Damme's Death Warrant.
Oh, you did. Everyone, go check out that video over on Samurai Guy's channel.
And Lockup's, is around the time Stallone's like, well, let me try something different from the usual Rambo stuff. And there is action in it, but it's such a well-made movie. I would put it in B.
All right, next up we have Over the Top, which is so much fun. It's like goofy, but like, come on, it's an arm wrestling movie.
Like, it's canon in its prime, man. You got Stallone beating up Terry Funk. I mean, what else you want? I own you. I mean, come on, you could put the cap backwards.
Oh yeah, I love that. Like backwards
switch.
Hat is like
it's like a switch,
Yeah.
Turning like this is like a switch. I want to put it in A, but it's probably more B.
It probably is more B. It is really fun though.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Well, let's go B on it.
B is good. B is still good.
B is great. Yeah. B's like 8 out of 10. Nighthawks.
Nighthawks. Yeah, man.
Not
very
familiar with this
great
one.
cop thriller with him and Billy D. Williams, and it's Rutger Hauer's American debut too.
Oh, is it? I love Rutger Hauer.
And
so this is like pre-Blade Runner and stuff.
Yeah, and he killed it. Rutger Hauer killed it in this movie.
Oh, he's always good. He's so.
So you have not seen this?
No.
Okay.
This is one that I want to check out because I honestly, just for Rutger Hauer, I'll watch anything with that guy.
Yeah. The ending I will not spoil. Some people think it's a little comedic. I will not spoil the ending. However, overall, it's a very gritty, and it almost feels like a 70s movie, like gritty, grimy, because it's probably early 80s. That's why. But very gritty, grimy cop thriller, man. Very well done. They're chasing Rutger. He's a terrorist. He changes his identity. How do you want to look? Make me beautiful. Man, this is tough because it's between B and C. Go ahead and put a B.
Paradise Alley.
Have not seen that one.
Oh, me neither. Yeah. Okay. It's gone. Okay. Now, Rambo 2. This is Rambo 2, right?
Rambo
really
3.
It's first. Oh, this one's 3?
Yeah.
Oh, two's over here.
There you go.
Rambo 3. Okay. I don't think I've seen 3. I've seen 1 and 2 and 4.
Right.
I don't think I've seen 3.
3 used to be everyone's least favorite movie until the 5th one came out.
Oh, yeah. That's what I heard.
Now there's respect for 3 now. And I enjoy 3. I think 3 is very entertaining. It's just, it's First Blood was just so good, and 2 was just so over the top and crazy that 3 kind of seemed more the same. However, is it really it's just still entertaining ride? Yeah. I would put it's weird. Over time, I'm starting to like Rambo 3 more, which is kind of strange. I didn't because I always liked it, but I didn't love it. But now I'm like, you know what? Rambo 3 is legit. It's Stallone, Rambo. You got to put it in B.
Next up, we have Reach Me.
Have
never heard of this one.
Nope.
I hadn't even heard of it. Okay. I just grabbed every Stallone movie for this.
Hey, it's fun. This is
okay.
Fun.
Now we have Cliffhanger. This is one that I saw on TV like all the time. It was constantly playing on like FX or whatever.
I think Cliffhanger is I think it's a forgotten action thriller. I think people forgot about this movie. And they forgot that, oh yeah, at some point, Rennie Harlan directed great movies. He directed really fun action thrillers. And I just feel like it's forgotten. I mean, it came out the same year Last Action Hero came out, which came out the same year Jurassic Park came out. So everything else was just like Stallone and Arnold had a bad year.
Yeah, cinema was really changing at that time.
Yeah. I mean, you got a great villain. John Lithgow is the villain in this. He's fantastic. You have to suspend your disbelief a little bit because it's he should be dead when he's frozen, like just shirtless, running around, sleeveless.
It's pretty cheesy and over the top.
But Stallone did do a lot of his stunts in it. I think this is premier Stallone in his prime. I would put Cliffhanger in A.
Okay. I'll go with you on that. It's been a while since I've seen it. I would probably put it a little lower myself, but I can get on board with that. It's definitely I feel like mountain climbing, that kind of thing, mountaineering, whatever, is kind of like underexplored in movies. There's not too many movies that make use of it. There's a couple, and a lot of them are not good at all.
Right.
But I don't know.
Do you remember the awesome beginning of the movie though? That amazing beginning.
That's the definite like highlight.
That got parodied in what was it, Ace Ventura Pet Detective, the second one?
Yeah, I think so. Okay, Tango and Cash. I think I've seen about half of this movie, but I don't think I ever saw the ending. I think I saw like the first half,
It's a movie that should have been a huge success. It should have been huge. And it's so much fun. The music's great. It's just a blast seeing them together. Tango and Cash, I still feel like that movie's underrated in my opinion. Tango and Cash, I'm gonna put it, it's between A and B for me. Where do you want it?
Let's go B with it.
Okay.
I love Kurt Russell. I actually like Kurt Russell more than Stallone. Kurt Russell's a guy where like I'll watch any movie if he's in it. I wouldn't say the same for Stallone, unfortunately. Okay, Rocky 2.
That means you have to watch the Fast and the Furious movies then. You got to watch the Fast and the Furious movies.
Oh, is he in those? All right, maybe I rescind that comment.
Rocky 2, very well done sequel. It goes into A. If you have 3 there, you got to put Rocky 2 there.
Okay. Next up, we have Escape Plan 3 here. Now, this was randomized, but maybe we should go ahead and grab Escape Plan 2 first.
I don't think it's going to matter because I own both of those movies and I have yet to watch them.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, let's get rid of them. Next up, we have another one I've never heard of. It's called D-Tox. You see this one?
Yeah.
I think it has an alternate title. So if you haven't seen
it ICU?
Probably, yeah.
I think that's a thriller. I have not seen that.
Next up, Cobra, which is, I haven't seen it. I know it's directed, though, by George P. Cosmatos, I believe, who is the father of Panos Cosmatos, who made like Mandy and Beyond the Black Rainbow and stuff.
Yeah.
But I haven't actually seen this one. I've seen, oddly enough, I've seen the ending. I've seen like, the final boss guy.
Yeah,
him
with the cool knife with the spikes.
Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah, but I haven't seen the full movie. And I saw, there's like a shootout in a grocery store or something?
In the beginning, yeah.
Maybe I have seen this whole movie.
You probably have. You just
I think I probably have.
Just need to revisit it.
Yeah, probably saw it on
TV. When you go back and revisit it, it is classic Stallone in the 80s canon action movie.
Yeah, I remember it being pretty cool, but also like really cheesy, but in a fun way.
Yeah, cheese is the charm with Cobra. I would put Cobra. Oh, that's tough, man. It's between A and B for me, but we'll go B.
Was it The Specialist?
I've only seen The Specialist once. Have you seen this?
No.
I've only seen it once. I just remember the only thing people were talking about when this came out was, hey, Stallone and Sharon Stone got a sex scene. Did you know? They got a sex scene in the movie. That's all I heard. That was the only buzz of this movie, but he's like a bomb expert in this. And there's a lot of fans for this. I would have to rewatch it again, I've only seen it once, but I was kind of bored, to be honest. C, I guess.
Okay.
I should have put in D.
Okay, yeah.
Because I was bored. What am I smoking?
Yeah, you sound like you've been a little generous with the C there. Yeah, we'll pop that in D. Okay, now we have Rambo 2, which is actually it's First Blood Part 2 Rambo, right? And then they changed up the whole series name and made it the Rambo series instead of the First Blood series. Yeah. Very confusing. Especially when the fourth one is just called Rambo. It's like, fuck off with that whole. I hate that was such a trend for so long where like they would drop the numbers. Like even Final Destination did it too, The Final Destination, even though it's like, what, the fourth movie or the fifth one or whatever. Stupid. Anyway, Rambo 2. I think
look at the newest Scream movie.
Oh yeah, they're doing that too. Yeah. They did it with Halloween. Halloween 2018 or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. This one, I mean, at the time before another one came out, this was my favorite one in the whole series. This is my favorite. Oh,
really?
One.
Okay.
I can agree that the First Blood is like that's the best picture, that's the best overall movie. But when you just want to have fun and just huge body count, screaming, yelling, I'm coming to get you. These classic one-liners, all this stuff. Huge explosions, body count. It's insane. But this was the movie, as big as a hit First Blood was. This was the movie that made the Rambo character an icon. People had mugs
that's definitely
with
true.
Stallone on it.
Yeah, this is what people think of when they hear Rambo.
Yes.
They don't actually think of Rambo 1. You say Rambo, they picture shirtless Stallone with a machine gun. And it's like, he has a machine gun on the poster of First Blood, but and he has a machine gun in the movie, but he just like shoots out lamps with it. He doesn't like kill anybody with it. So people think of Rambo 2 when they hear Rambo, for sure.
Again, overall, storyline wise, First Blood's better, but it would be a crime. It would be a sin to not put this in an S tier for Stallone list.
I think it's a significant step down from the first one. It's definitely more of an action movie.
Yeah.
It's
yeah. Well, it's your list, man. If you want to put it in A, I mean, that's fine.
I mean, I would go like B. So let's meet in the middle.
Man, that
middle
low
on A.
for
I just think
Stallone
I don't
list?
think it's a bad movie or anything, but I just think
Okay.
like when you compare it to First Blood,
Right.
I feel like it's such a step down in terms of like everything except for the action.
Alrighty.
Like even his performance, it's like the character is now so one-dimensional, whereas it's like a really complex, broken man in the first movie, and then they just like throw that away in the sequel. It's like it's like not even the same guy at that point. Here's another one we already talked about: Expendables 2.
It's B tier for me.
Okay.
It's only because it's my favorite out of the whole trilogy.
Yeah, I enjoy it. We talked about that in our Arnie tier list. So if you want to hear more thoughts on that,
huge body count, a lot of fun. His fight with Van Damme at the end was great.
Next we have Daylight. Again, haven't seen this one.
I've only seen this once, and again, this was one of those Stallone trying to not do an action flick, and more of disaster movies were the in thing, right? So he's like, okay, let me do something similar like that. So he did Daylight. I remember Daylight being okay. I remember being solid. I liked it more than The Specialist. I wasn't bored. But it's C.
All right, this is one of his more acclaimed movies up next, Copland. Now, I have seen this one. I feel like I need to rewatch it though because I didn't like it at all.
Okay.
But it's one of his most acclaimed ones, and like a lot of I don't know. It seems like a movie I'd like because the cast is just so good. Like beyond Stallone, you have De Niro, you got Ray Liotta, you got Harvey Keitel. It's just such a good cast. Yeah. And like the premise is interesting.
You had your chance, but you blew it. Yeah, this is some good stuff.
Yeah, and like I don't know if he wrote it. I mean, I don't know if he directed it, but it's James Mangold, right? But and he's a great filmmaker. He's made tons of great stuff. I've liked everything I've seen from him. I think it might have just been a case of like expecting the wrong thing when I went into this one. I think I had to rewatch it with like in a different mindset or something. Because
I liked it more when I watched it a second time. My dad hated it because he wanted to see badass Stallone. He wanted to see Rambo 2 Stallone. And he hated it because he was like, oh, the whole movie Stallone talks really quiet. He's just meh. But I mean, but he was expecting badass Stallone. But when I watched it again, I was like, he really, did a great job in terms of acting performance. And I ended up liking the movie a lot more.
That's what I always hear, right? And I didn't go in expecting an action movie. I knew it was like a crime drama.
Was it him? Did you not like him, or was there something about the movie?
I went into it here and like, oh, it's one of Stallone's best performances. He's really good at this. And then I watched it, and it was like every line out of his mouth. I was like, oh, I don't like this performance.
Okay. All right.
I think I need to rewatch it because like I think he is a talented actor in the right part. Yeah. Like obviously, like his performance in First Blood is incredible, Yeah. But I don't know. I just couldn't get on board with it.
I was gonna say B, but the way you feel about it, why don't you go put it in C then?
Well, let's put it in C for now, and then I will make a vow to rewatch this movie. Okay, next up is The Suicide Squad. I think the most recent movie on this list. Oh, actually, the most recent one. This one came out like last year.
I had a blast with this. I like this a lot.
I did too, actually, and I'm really not a superhero movie person.
Yeah.
I watch it because I like James Gunn. I think he's a really funny writer.
Yeah.
And if anyone doesn't know, Stallone voices the shark in this.
King Shark, It
is such good casting.
I know.
It's such good casting. Yeah. He's really funny. And I didn't even know it's him right away, even though he's got such a distinctive voice. I didn't recognize his voice until I actually looked it up halfway through the movie. I was like, who's the shark? Because this guy's hilarious with these like one word things. I don't know how, like in retrospect, I was like, how did I not recognize his voice?
It's a great movie, and Stallone, his character's in it a lot. So it was one of my favorite movies of last year. Yeah. But for Stallone list, I don't know, B?
Yeah, I would probably go B. B sounds good to me. Enjoyed it way more than I expected to. Okay, next is Rhinestone. Haven't seen it, but I have seen the clip of Stallone singing, and it was like, what's going on here?
I've seen reviews on it, and it looks it looks painful, but believe it or not, there's actually a big cult following for Rhinestone. They think it's just goofy fun. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I would say F tier to keep it cult status, but I don't know if it counts if I just seen reviews and not the movie. So maybe we can.
If you haven't seen it, let's
get rid of it.
Chuck it out of there. Yeah. Okay, next up is the Get Carter remake. The original is obviously a Michael Caine movie, but this was Stallone's remake.
You know, I'm fired because I have not seen this.
Oh, I haven't either. So
yeah, I'm fired though because I heard it's actually pretty good.
Oh,
Even
really?
though it bombed. It was supposed to be Stallone's comeback movie and it tanked.
Death Race 2000. This one's fun. It's this is the first Death Race movie. This was Roger Corman way back.
Yeah.
And then it was like Death Race went dormant for so long, and then they made that Jason Statham one, right?
Yeah.
And then they kicked off a whole bunch of sequels, and then there's like a whole, there's a ton of Death Race movies.
It's like they're still making movies.
Yeah, it's crazy. They
Previous
got
reboots.
ridiculous. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like it started off ridiculous, and then it just continued to get more and more ridiculous.
What does he play? Bazooka Joe or something like that.
I think that's a chewing gum, but
the movie has one of the worst one-on-one fight scenes I've ever seen, with Stallone versus Carradine. But is it fun? Yeah, it's a fun movie.
Where do you want to put it? Frankenstein, who is the character that Statham plays in that.
Right.
I guess it's
where do you want to put it? I'm going to leave this up to you.
Oh, I mean, it's not good. This is one of Stallone's like first movies, I think.
So he's, Carradine's the lead. I mean,
this is a grindhouse movie. You got to know that you're going in for like an exploitation film with schlock. It's like car exploitation. I think it's goofy fun.
C or B, it's your call.
I could go as high as C. Yeah.
Okay.
Nothing in it's really good. It's just fun if you're in the mood for like that type of exploitation. Yeah. Okay. Creed 2.
Great. Great follow-up. Have you seen this? Have you seen the Creed movies?
I have seen the first Creed. I have not seen this one though.
It's the first Creed overall is a better movie than Creed 2, but they did such a great job with the Ivan Drago character coming back with his son. They did such a good job with it that it doesn't feel like member berries the movie. And one of the best scenes in the movie is Dolph Lundgren sitting down in with Stallone at a table, and they're just talking to each other back and forth in Stallone's restaurant. And it's one of the best scenes in the movie because you feel the tension between each other's dialogue. And I know a lot of fans like me were like, hey man, they're gonna fight, you're gonna have the old man fight to throw down, but they didn't have to do it because it was that well constructed. For sequel, bringing back member berries but not forcing them down your throat, Creed 2 is very well done. I would say B.
Next up is Shade, which is another one I had never heard of. I think it's a gambling movie. It looks like a gambling movie. I love gambling movies, but I haven't seen this one. So
not seen that one.
Okay, Rocky 4.
Are you counting the new cut that came out last year?
Oh no, I didn't even know that was a thing.
Oh my God! But you haven't seen Rocky 4 at all.
I haven't seen any of the Rocky movies.
Okay, all right. It's one of my childhood favorite movies. I'm biased toward it. In the soundtrack, it's montage the movie, and I don't give a shit. The soundtrack's amazing. It will make you want to work out. You will run to the mountaintops and scream Drago. It's a Rocky versus Drago cut. Because what he did was he took out a lot of the cheese that was in Rocky 4. He took it out and added in deleted scenes that were not used. So it's like a totally different experience at some parts, especially the ending. You're gonna be like, whoa, that's totally different. Whoa. Okay. I would put the director's cut in an S tier.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah.
Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2.
Another fun flick.
Again, I've seen the first Guardians of the Galaxy, never saw the second one. Are there 3 of them now?
Well, now you have to see it.
I don't even know how many there are.
You have to see it because your boy's in it, Kurt Russell.
And I did enjoy the first one, to be fair. I like it more than most of the MCU movies that I've seen.
It's fun.
Because I like James Gunn's writing. So
yeah. Well, he's still involved with this one. It's got his name all over it, but there's some hilarious moments. It's over the top. I mean, Stallone has a small role in it. He doesn't really have like a large role. So I don't know where to put this because it's a fun flick, but it's more of a cameo.
We can drop it down if it's just a cameo. Where would you put the movie, and then we'll bump it down like one tier?
I would give the movie. I would put it B tier, the movie.
So then we'll bump it down to C for the
that's fine.
The Stallone list.
That's fine.
Okay, Demolition Man.
Now we're talking. It's a fun action flick. Wesley Snipes is over the top. Have you seen Demolition Man?
I'm ashamed to say it. I know this is why I could never do a Stallone list on my own. This is like all you pretty much. I've only seen like 20% of these movies.
Oh man, no, it's all good. Hey, but this is great though because now you get homework.
Yeah,
now you got to binge watch.
I know about Demolition Man. Oh, honestly, like I haven't watched Demolition Man because I have so much fun people trying to explain Demolition Man to me because it sounds like the most wild thing ever.
Oh, it's insane.
Where like he gets taught how to knit, right? He gets like cryogenically frozen or whatever. They teach him how to
Taco
knit.
Bells.
The Taco Bell stuff, and there's like something with a seashell, right?
Toilet system,
So I love just hearing it described. It's goofy.
When you curse, you get a ticket. But Demolition Man, for me, I still feel it's underrated and overlooked. This might be blasphemy. But I'm putting it in A. For Stallone list, Demolition Man's an A.
That's one that I need to check out for sure.
Dude, the opening action sequence is so crazy. It's like it could have been the ending to like another movie, dude. But yeah, it's a blast.
Okay, next up is Assassins.
Assassins is a good flick, man. Are you okay with Assassins shooting and firing at each other the entire movie with silencers? Are you okay with that? The entire
I got
movie.
No issue with that. I have seen this one actually. This is one that I have seen, weirdly enough. I remember renting this one from the library.
Okay. Oh my God. The library. What's that?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I know. Kids these days, right? It didn't like stand out too much to me. I remember enjoying it, but it didn't like, leave much of an impression. It's kind of blends in with a bunch of other movies. I don't know, just like a little generic, I guess, is the main issue with it. It's not like it's terrible in any one area, but it just doesn't like excel in any area either for me.
To be honest, it's kind of the Antonio Banderas movie, really. Like he stole every scene he was in. Every scene he was in with Stallone, you just paid attention to him like the whole time. So he's kind of stealing scenes. It's still a good flick. I mean, I definitely recommend you watch it if you can handle from beginning to end. It's a C.
Okay, yeah, I can go with C.
Yeah.
The original Rocky. I know it's like a cinephile sin that I haven't seen this one yet, but
F tier, please. Thank you.
And Rocky 5.
S tier. Rocky 5.
There we go.
Oh, Rocky's
people
can you imagine
people
if we just ended the video like that?
Yeah.
No, Rocky's S tier, man. That's the movie, man.
I'm sure it is. I got to see it eventually.
Even if you don't like romantic films, you got to admit that Rocky's probably the best romantic movie ever made. And it's just so good. And Burgess Meredith is great, and it's just such a great performance from Stallone because a lot of the real life shit he was going through, you could see, living on the street, broke. Like a lot of that stuff, came forward with his performance, and it's iconic, man. The music from Bill Conti's great. Carl Weathers as Apollo Creed is just phenomenal. It's a perfect movie, man.
Okay, Rocky 5.
That's my guilty pleasure. It's sad. It's everyone's least favorite Rocky movie for sure. It's not worth defending, even though it has a few good moments in there for sure. But overall, it's just kind of like after the high, Rocky 4 ends with him being God. He is God of the boxing world. He stops the war in the 80s. Okay, that's how high he is. Right. He ended the war. Right. And in Rocky 5, it's just like, oh shit, this is happening. I mean, do you want me to spoil it? I mean,
go for it. Okay.
I mean, he loses all his money. Adrian goes back to the fucking pet shop. They go back to his old neighborhood, and a lot of people were.
I actually like that in theory. That sounds really interesting to me. In theory, having not seen any of the movies, that sounds interesting to see.
Well, there you go. You may love Rocky 5. There you go.
Maybe.
I like it. It's not a great movie, but I do like it. It's a guilty pleasure of mine. If I'm being forgiving, I would put it in C tier, but go ahead and put it in D.
Next up, this one's maybe a long shot. This is the Italian Stallion. This is the. Have you seen this one? This
S tier. Come on.
Yeah. So this is the. For those who don't know, this is the. It was originally called, I think, The Party at Kitty and Studs. This is the porno that Stallone made while he was broke, and then they later rebranded it to the Italian Stallion after Rocky was a big, huge hit. They re-released it with that.
I have not seen it.
Okay, just checking. Next up is Avenging Angelo.
I have not seen that one.
Me neither. Okay. Next up, Spy Kids 3, aka Spy Kids 3D.
F.
I actually kind of like this one as a kid because let me just stand up for a second.
All right.
It's a terrible movie.
Okay.
And like looking back on it, it looks absolutely awful, right?
Yeah.
I was a kid when this came out. I was in the target age range for it.
Yeah.
And there's something about Robert Rodriguez's kids movies that other kids movies don't have. Where like if you are a kid when you watch his kids movies,
Yeah.
somehow
They're
they
amazing.
just it's yeah, they work for children. He does not make the type of kids movies where it's like, oh, adults can enjoy it too, and there's like the jokes for the adults and stuff. He
Right.
makes kids movies that are for the kids, and the parents can
Right.
fuck off. You know,
Right,
that's the way
right.
he approaches it.
Right.
And I think that comes from like he has his own actual children who are the right age for the movie, like
Right,
write the movie
right.
with him. Like he has them
Right.
come up with the story for Shark Boy and Lava Girl, whatever, which is awful. But like when you're a kid, it's like it captures that childlike imagination better than a lot of actual like kids movies that are trying to do that
All
manage
right.
to accomplish because
raise
it's actually
it
coming
up,
from the
son.
mind of a child. No, it is awful.
Yeah. Raise it
And
up.
it's way worse than the first two Spy
E
Kids
or D?
movies. I would go E. It's still
All right,
bad,
all right,
but I don't
all
think
right.
it's. I think for a kid, it's fun. I watched this so many times as a kid. Okay, Rocky Balboa, aka this is Rocky 6.
Yeah.
Right?
The redemption movie.
Where again they dropped the number, kind of like he did with
I
the
know,
fourth
right?
Rambo.
This is the redemption movie because of 5. I remember when the trailer for Rocky Balboa came out, I was kind of embarrassed. And I'm going to say the exact same thing for another movie that's coming up right now on the list. I was really embarrassed. I was like, oh man, he's so old. He's playing. Oh God. All right. I can't do it. So I refused to go see it in theater. And I was an idiot. I really was an idiot. When it came out on DVD, I rented it. I was like, all right, let's watch this. And I was an idiot. I was like, wow, this was really a well-made follow-up. And it was a great performance from Rocky. Great performance from Stallone. And it was just a great movie, man. And again, I love the ending. And Sam, you're gonna love the ending for this one. You're gonna love it. But it was so well done. It was just like a breath of fresh air, like, yay, us Rocky fans can end it on a high note right here.
Right.
Not with 5. You know,
He probably got
still
all
works.
worried when they were bringing it back in Creed, like, oh, don't fuck up the ending.
I was
right?
the same way with Creed,
Yeah.
same way, yeah. But yeah, Rocky Balboa is an A, man, for me.
Okay, Judge Dredd. I love the 2012
guilty
Dredd
pleasure
with
of
Carl
mine.
Urban. I think this one sucks, man. Especially when you compare it to the Carl Urban Dredd.
Oh, guilty
If you
pleasure
really
of
like it,
mine.
we can bump it up a little bit. For me, this is like E or F kind of
Well, I
territory.
didn't know it was based off a comic book character.
Oh,
When
yeah.
I saw this movie in theaters, I know I saw it in theaters. The whole opening up was like pre-Marvel, like with all the comic book paneling and the comic books coming at the screen. I was like, this is a comic book character? Like, what is going on? You know, I didn't know that. And that made me a fan of the comic book character. And I had to go read up and look up at the comics and stuff like that. Where this movie fails, well, obviously having Stallone be without the helmet on, throughout the whole movie, that was a
Yeah.
mistake. There's some really good practical effects work in this movie, man. There's some bad dated green screen CGI too. But the big robot that they had in that is fucking amazing, dude. If you go back and watch that thing, practical effects makeup of some of the villains was really good. And you have Armand Arsante, really overacting. But that gives me joy. It's kind of the cheese is the charm with this one, It's like, what did he say? He's like, I am the law. And he goes, law. Like, it's so Armand Arsante is so over the top. For me, the movie fails with that third act. It was like, what happened, dude? Like, the third act of the movie is a guilty pleasure as much as I enjoy it. It's just kind of like you introduce this whole idea of clones. And I was like, oh shit, all the clones are waking up. We got all these different judges. We're gonna have this big, huge action sequence with him fighting other judges. Nope. Let's just end it. He kicks Armand Asante out of the fucking bootleg CGI green screen Statue of Liberty and he falls. And we wrap up the movie. It was just like the whole third act really was a disappointment. I'm gonna come on, Sam, be generous, man. C tier. Come on.
Oh, that's really generous.
Come on. All right, go ahead. Move with D.
It would be
Go
generous.
ahead.
D, I think, is generous.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. I think that's pretty generous already. Okay, up next we have another one we covered in our Arnie tier list.
Yeah.
I think it was in D, if I'm remembering correctly.
For Arnie, yeah.
Yeah, for Arnie.
But it
Any
can
change
go,
if it's
it can go
Stallone?
C.
C for Stallone?
Yeah. It's
Okay.
entertaining.
Creed. So I have seen this one. And this is actually the only movie with Rocky in it that I've seen, is the first Creed. And I wasn't really expecting to like it. I was expecting to maybe be a little lost because I haven't seen any of the Rocky movies. But I really like the director, Ryan Coogler. Not that I've seen too much of his stuff. Like I actually never watched Black Panther, but I really like his movie Fruitvale Station. So I watched Creed for that. I think Fruitvale Station is incredible. Everyone should watch that movie.
Yeah, the way he filmed the boxing scenes were great.
Yeah, I was blown away with the boxing scenes in this.
So now you have to revisit everything. You have to start from Rocky.
Yeah.
And you got to go through all of them and then watch Creed again. You probably have a different feeling about it.
Yeah, and then jump into Creed too. Yeah. I mean, I was really impressed with Creed. I think Michael B. Jordan gives a great performance, which is unsurprising because he's great. And he was incredible in Fruitvale Station as well.
I'd say A.
I'm going to go with A. The relationship drama surprisingly worked really well. Even though I hadn't seen the other Rocky movies, I really enjoyed the Rocky character in this. I thought Stallone gave a great performance.
Yeah, yes, he did.
I was a little surprised that he got the Oscar nomination, but that was kind of cool to see. I'm going to go with him getting the nomination. He wouldn't be my pick of the winners or anything, but I think it's a deserved nomination, though. And now we have Rambo Last Blood, aka Rambo 5.
Yes.
Now, I was excited for this one when it was coming out, but I was like, I'm going to wait just in case and see the reviews first.
Okay.
And then the reviews came out and I said, oh, nope, not for me. Because I heard it was awful. And I heard it was like shockingly xenophobic was the main criticism I kept hearing about it. I kept hearing people say it was like super racist and stuff. So I was like, okay, I'm not watching this one.
No, it's not super racist.
Okay, I don't know anything about it.
It felt low budget. There were some very bad green screen choices in the movie. The movie felt and looked low budget.
Yeah, the trailer looked like a straight to Redbox movie is the vibe I got from it.
A lot of the complaints with the film were people said that it didn't feel like a Rambo movie. It felt like a Death Wish revenge flick. So I see a lot of people say that. However, me being Rambo biased, it's definitely worth watching one day, Sam, because the last half an hour is fucking amazing, bro. People were cheering in the theater, dude. It is so fucking insane and violent at the end. Like, it's so over the top, dude.
Okay, I do want to see that.
It was like guys my age, obviously, were in the theater and we were like, yeah. We were like, oh shit. Like, we were like, the other five guys that showed up, it was just 6 of us in the theater.
That sounds like a fun time. So it's like worth it for the last like half hour.
Yes, dude.
Okay, maybe I will check it out then, because if it's as like crazy and gory and violent as 4 was, then I can get on board with it probably.
Yeah, it's crazy, but I have to be. So I enjoyed the movie, but yeah, it's my least favorite of all 5. I would say C, but I know a lot of people would have an issue with that. Well, if you got Judge Dredd down in D, go ahead and put Last Blood there. That's fine.
Yeah, D. Okay. And last up, Rambo 4, which they annoyingly just called Rambo, but it's the 4th one. Now, this one, I love this one. I really like this one a whole lot. It is so fucking gory. It is like one of the goriest action movies you will ever see. And it looks like a horror movie, how gory this thing. Even like the color grading, which is a little ugly. It's very much of its time, the color grading where everything's all washed out and gross looking. It looks like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake.
It does.
Got that kind of color and that even more extreme gore than that. But the violence is just so fun on this. The story is very much who gives a shit, and the character is very much who gives a shit. Rambo's like, he's like barely a character in this one. He's basically just like a tool for destruction, right?
Yeah.
But as a tool for destruction, it's a sight to behold, man.
But I mean, all the stuff that
heads and limbs, and the 50 caliber machine gun scene is unbelievably just insane. Yeah. Same with the sniper rifle, like that shot where they shoot through like 3 bodies at once. Unbelievable. I love the I think it's a really good blending of practical with CG. Like there's some CG in there to enhance it, but it's like there's such a good base of practical. It looks so good. So like the story is almost non-existent, right? Character is very thin, but the violence is just so fun.
Yes.
It's my favorite other than the first one. Like I like it way more than 2.
And
I would probably go A tier with it again.
Okay.
If you feel more strongly for it, I could maybe be.
I was going
to
to say
S.
S tier.
Okay, yeah, I could be swayed to S.
I was going to say S tier, man.
It does have so many issues though,
Yeah.
like in terms of like story and character. Like there are huge issues, but it's kind of like.
But Rambo says fuck the world.
It's paced so quickly, like it gets to the action right away, and then it just doesn't let up. That it doesn't like give you time to linger on the elements that are like that don't really work so well. Right. It doesn't give you time to sit back and go, well, the story here is kind of
but the villains felt real though. Like you wanted them to die. There was no fucking kill all of them.
Kill them. Pretty sinister.
Rip the intestines out. Like I wanted all of them to die horribly. And I love it when you have characters that say fuck it. That especially characters that are like, oh, peace and love and blah, 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 right? But at some point, they're like, all right, fuck it. I'm going to grab a knife. I'm going to start stabbing motherfuckers. And I love that when a lot of those characters at the end, like they went out to help people and were all peace and love. Like, the fuck are you guys doing? I mean, it's cool you want to help, but you got to be smart about these things, you know? I've always wanted to see the Rambo character with a team of people. And you get that a little bit in this movie too, which is kind of fun. But yeah, this is like, now when you think of Rambo, it's Rambo 4. It's Rambo 4, dude. And again, I was embarrassed. I saw Stallone running around the jungle with that horrible wig on. I was like, oh my God, this is so embarrassing. And all of the gore, obviously, they didn't show in the trailer.
So
the trailer felt like a G-rated Rambo movie with old ass Stallone running around with a bad wig. I was so embarrassed.
Yeah, you're worried he's gonna like trip on a vine and break his old man ankle.
And man, was I blown away.
Yeah, this is.
I feel strong. I feel strong about the list there.
Yeah, this is looking good. So that's where we rank Stallone's filmography. Those of you watching, feel free to let us know in the comments where you would rank Stallone's movies. Do you think we rated anything too highly or too lowly?
Come on, Judge Dredd S tier. Come on.
Yeah, people might put that one higher. I don't know. They might put it lower too, but who knows? Anyway, thanks for watching. Go subscribe to That Fat Samurai Guy's YouTube channel. Follow everything he does, and you can stick around here too. Check out more tier lists. Check out more stuff we got going on. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye.
Peace.